Good evening. Hey there. Happy Tuesday evening. I don't know if you guys are tired of seeing me by now. Usually Tuesday nights, Krista is here. And I've been live the last couple nights doing a few different things, but Krista is with her family for a different obligation tonight. So I'm jumping in real quick, just a real short live tonight. I'm going to take Krista's spot and do our 5 faves. So Krista's been sharing with you 5 favorite picture books of the week for the past, I don't know, many weeks. And so, yeah, she wasn't available tonight, so I'm going to jump in and share my 5 fave picture books of the week with you. And as always, we'll throw some links in the chat box or in the comment box for you to be able to find them easily, but great books to throw in your library order this week and grab for free, or go grab them on Amazon, put them in your cart if you're trying to fill up some good, fun, cheap books to have at home for your home library. So if you are joining us for the first time, I am Katie, or maybe you're watching the replay. I'm Katie. I am one of the founders of the Literacy Camp, one of the literacy ladies, and Krista is the other co-founder of the Literacy Camp. And so we're here live on our Literacy Camp Facebook page tonight, or maybe you're watching the replay later. And yeah, we hang out with our Facebook community about at least once a week, and love to just share free tips with you on ways to help you feel supported as you help your kids learn. We are, again, founders of the Literacy Camp. Literacy Camp's a fun, really unique summer learning opportunity for students. And this year we have a virtual option. So you can find that at theliteracyladies.net. Really fun virtual option of summer camp for your kids this summer. It's pre-recorded, which means it's all done and flexible, so you can use it. It's a 1 week of content, so you can use it in the 1 week format that it's laid out in. We give you a super detailed schedule with links to click on. Everything is really fun and engaging for the kids, and as easy as possible for the parents. That's how we designed it. So you can use it in that 1 week format, or you can use it super flexibly however you want. So go check out Virtual Literacy Camp if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll jump in and get to it and share with you our 5 faves of the week. These ones are not from the library. I do have a library pickup order I'm actually going to go get tomorrow, hopefully with some new books. But these are some like tried and true favorites that are in our house that we have been reading and loving lately. The first one is called The Relatives Came, and it's by Cynthia Rylant. And this is one you can see I always have the little stickers on the ones that used to be in my classroom that we used to share with students often. It's a Caldecott Honor book, so it's a award winner, and just really wonderful book. I think we can use this a lot for teaching writing because the language in this book is really good. But I picked it because it's a great summer book because it's about when the relatives came, when your relatives come visit in the summertime. So if that is happening for your family, or maybe you are the relatives that are maybe getting out finally and going to visit other family members of yours, it's a great read. It was in the summer of the year when the relatives came is the very first line. We love that line. So it's just a really great, very entertaining story about a family that comes to visit their extended family every summer, and all of the fun that is had. So a great book if you're talking about maybe going to visit some family this summer or having family come visit you. We're gonna have some of our family members come visit us that we haven't seen in a long time that we're so looking forward to this year. So we're gonna be reading The Relatives Came before that, and having lots of giggles and using this book to help us look forward to our visit from our relatives. So The Relatives Came by Cynthia Rylant. That one is a classic. You'll definitely want to check that one out. Here's another one that's been in my favorites pile for a long time. It's called The Paperboy, and The Paperboy is by Dave Pilkey. And this one is also a Caldecott Honor book, so a medal book. I didn't do that on purpose with a few of those tonight. But I also used this one to teach writing because it's a great book for noticing a story being told in sequence. So it's a really great book for the beginning, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then the end, right? So if you're talking with your kids and they are learning about retelling a story in sequence, this would be a great one for that. It's also just a really beautiful story about a very responsible little boy who is on a paper route every morning. Is that a thing anymore? It's probably not, right? I don't know. I mean, somebody's delivering paper still. I don't know if they're young kiddos, but it's an adorable story about this very responsible little boy that goes on his paper route every day. And the language is just really fun. It helps you to feel like you're in the story and like you can imagine exactly what's happening. And there are lines like, on these cold mornings, the paper boy's bed is still warm and it's always hard to get out, even for his dog. So lines that you can like really relate to, and imagine what your warm, cozy bed feels like when you don't want to get up in the morning. So just a really beautiful story about a little boy who has a summer job as the paper boy, and he delivers papers to his whole neighborhood. So it's a great one. You will want to check that one out as well. All right, this one is kind of different from some of the other picture book recommendations that we've done. It's called the Blue Day Book for Kids. Maybe you've heard of the Blue Day book before. It's by Bradley Trevor Grieve. And it's the same type of feel as the Blue Day book. It's kind of like a coffee table book with really great pictures in it, real photographs of animals. And it's all about like if you're having a blue day and you're feeling grumpy or you're feeling sad and what that's like. And then how do you turn around your grumpy day? And he gives some ideas about maybe giving somebody a hug or playing some music or doing a dance or trying to smile even when you don't feel like it. And there's like, of course, adorable animal pictures that go with each of those things. Really short, easy lines to get through. And my son loves this book, and it's the perfect book to read to your kids on a blue day, on a day that maybe they're feeling a little grumpy or blue, and talk to them about ways that they can turn their mood around. So the Blue Day book for kids is that one. The tagline there, I guess, is a lesson in cheering yourself up. So I love those ones that have a real practical use if you're chatting with your kids about how to cheer themselves up. Okay, here we go. The next one is maybe one that you've heard of before. If there's some teachers hanging out with us, you've probably for sure heard of this one before. How full is your bucket for kids? And this one is written by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. And it's all about, if you haven't heard of bucket filling before, it's all about understanding, the author kind of gives this analogy of everybody having a bucket. And you can see in the pictures, he's got this bucket like hanging over his head. And when somebody says something unkind or something happens that doesn't go his way, it's like a little drop comes out of the bucket. And when your bucket is low, you're more likely to be grumpy and sad and maybe say things that you wish you didn't say, or just not be your best self. And then it talks about ways that you can have your bucket filled. So the little boy in the story, his bucket is filled when friends say something nice to him, or his teacher says something kind, or somebody is patient with him. And as his bucket fills up, he tends to then be kind to others and more patient with them. And somebody drops something and he runs and picks it up. And so then as the little boy learns that, he realizes, oh my goodness, if I have this bucket that needs to be filled, other people must have one too. And then he goes around and tries to start being kind to other people that he runs into, and he's always trying to fill their buckets. And it's just a great analogy for kids to be able to have this visual for, ways to fill each other's buckets and to feel good and to help others feel good as well. So a great story, especially if you are, trying to squeeze those lessons in before your kids go back to school in the fall, and how to treat others with kindness. So how full is your bucket? Sorry, the light is kind of funky there. And it's by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer. So that's a great one. My last one is a silly one because I have a silly kid. So he likes a lot of silly books, and it's called Mrs. McNosh Hangs Up Her Wash. And it is by Sarah Weeks. So this is just a very silly, cheap, scholastic book. I actually was introduced to it, you guys, literally, 15 years ago. My mom was the mystery reader in my kindergarten classroom, and she picked this book out and came and read it to my kindergarten students, and they loved it. And so now my son loves it too. It's just a very silly story about a lady who's hanging up all of her laundry to dry, which again, does anybody do that anymore? I have no idea. But a fun concept to share with kids if they've not thought of that before. Maybe people do that. I wish I did. I think it sounds kind of delightful, but I don't know if I would take the time to do that ever. So anyways, it's also a rhyming story, and rhyming stories are great for early literacy, for getting kids to hear fluency and to hear, hear rhyming words and be able to practice phonemic awareness skills. So each Monday at dawn, Mrs. McNelly McNosh brings out a barrel and she does a big wash. And so it goes through and it has all these little rhyming words. And of course she hangs up her underwear at one point, which is really silly and the kids will all laugh. So it's just a very fun little silly book about all the different, she hangs up her shoes and her laundry and stuff. So just a very fun, silly rhyming book that your kids will smile at. Mrs. McNosh hangs up her wash. So those are my 5 books, 5 faves of the week. I hope that you found a couple new ideas to put in your next library order or to grab from Amazon for your, next book order for birthdays or whatever else you're buying books for. But free books from the library is how we roll all the time. So go check those out. And I hope that you have a wonderful summer of reading. Thanks for letting me jump into Krista's spot tonight for our 5 faves of the week. And go check out Virtual Literacy Camp. If you haven't already, it's already live. So we've got families that are enjoying it and loving it. Some families that did our spring break mini camp that are now doing our summer camp as well because they loved it so much the first time around. So go check it out. Send us any questions that you have. You can find all that information at theliteracyladies.net. And if you're not already in our Facebook community, come join our free group of parents where everybody's just helping support each other with great learning ideas for helping your kids learn. And you can find that at The Literacy Ladies for parents of elementary kids. We hope to see you there. Have a great night. Happy reading.